Welcome, Sojourners. You have found yourself a cozy place here at Sojourners Awake. I'm Jonathan, and this is our production of The Waking of Willowby Hall. The Waking of Willowby Hall is a wonderful one-shot prepared by Ben Milton of Questing Beast. You can check it out for yourself at drivethrurpg.com. Background music and ambiance is provided by Tabletop Audio. Check them out at www.tabletopaudio.com. This specific one-shot was prepared for as a way to explore all the wonderful possible outcomes that our human imagination can come up with at any given time, prompted by rolls of the dice. I hope you enjoy it as we dive into the story. We're halfway there. And so for now, our story continues. The sheet music, To Lavinia for All Eternity.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I can track. I'm decent at tracking.
Yeah, I'm going to say that as you open up the harpsichord and follow the last spider that ran away from your pit-fighting fury, you see that it disappears into the harpsichord.
I think we should follow it.
I wonder if it's all the stuff that was from her husband.
If what's all the stuff?
If she, cursed all of the stuff that her husband gave her.
Sounds like he just ran off and left her in this big old house. What a jerk.
It seems a little extreme to kill him in response.
Yeah, you can't. Can you go in the harpsichord? It's not like a secret passage that leads somewhere, is it? If you go into it?
Saw the spider disappear. Looks like it might have been the shadows.
I can pray for a miracle and see if we can shrink down, get inside, and follow them. Can I?
You don't have to ask me. I'm just narrating your actions. You tell me what you do, and I tell you how to roll. By the way, that was good.
Okay.
That was good drama and interaction. Everyone gets a luck point if you do not have one already. All right, get yourself your luck point. Okay, tell me what you do. You're standing there.
Do we want to follow?
Did you say you shrank us?
No, I'll pray for a miracle and see if we can shrink down and follow him.
Okay. I like this plan.
All right, Crimson, pray for a miracle. Miracles are hard. 18 or higher. Do not roll a 1.
I rolled a 2.
I'm gonna say with that. Let's see, random. We'll do random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on Gargesha. I want to look at your character sheet. One item on your inventory starts to shrink. Your crossbow shrinks down immediately in response to Crimson's prayers. You have a tiny little crossbow in your hand now.
Aww.
Can toothpick somebody.
So that's what happened when she prayed, because she failed to pray, so now she has that tiny little crossbow.
Pick off the mosquitoes.
Yeah, this will help if we get attacked by termites next.
My homeboy Cornelia is in a mood.
Otherwise, yeah, I think it's worthless, so I'm just gonna throw it across the room.
Okay. You can throw it at the north wall, the sitting room, harpsichord, or the great hall.
I'm just gonna throw it in the harpsichord.
You throw it in the harpsichord and it disappears.
Yeah.
Elliot,
I thought there were going to be more spiders.
how do you respond, Elliot?
So you said there were a couch and chairs in here. Oh, I want to take a look at the wall that's been partially opened by the sledgehammer.
Okay. As you get closer, you see that the sledgehammer's gone now, but it looks like someone was kind of banging out this moldy wall. It smells really toxic, very moldy and musty in this area, and it feels wet.
Can I see inside the wall?
Yes, you can. When you look inside, you can feel air coming through.
Can I tell which direction it's coming from?
It's coming from the other side of the wall, almost as if it smells like outside air.
Gargesha, can I borrow your sledgehammer skills?
Certainly, yeah.
don't you smash through this wall and see what happens?
Yeah.
Gargesha, you run over, start smashing into it, finishing the job that was done possibly 100 years ago. And before you know it, you have broken through into the night garden. Foliage and plants, and it is very dense and thick as it has been overrun for 100 years. But you are now looking into outside.
This is me. I smashed the wall.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
smashed the wall, and y'all can now, you're on the border between the garden and the music room. How do you proceed?
Since I'm standing by the wall, can I look one direction and see outside and look another direction and see through one of the doorways? What?
What? You would have to, no, the night garden is very thick and dense, so you can't
okay.
see through it. You just know that you've suddenly opened probably in what is a courtyard garden.
Yeah. I think we should step outside and see if we can walk around the house and see if there's a promising back cellar entry or a servant's door in the back.
Sounds
Elia,
good.
as you walk through, Elia, you are now in the garden. As you peer through branches and trees and grasses, you see that there is a stone patio in the very center of the garden with a dry fountain in the center of this courtyard. All around you are strong fungi. Completely have taken over this garden. There are mushrooms everywhere, all kinds of lichens and different kinds of toadstools completely grown around here. They've nearly popped up overnight, and you can hardly step anywhere without tripping over one of them. The night garden does not lead anywhere else, except there is a courtyard wall. This seems like an enclosed secret garden. The walls are made of stone brick.
So you said the wall was... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said I vote we go in the secret garden.
Yeah, and
Sorry, say what you...
I'm curious, you said the wall was kind of wet. Can we see the source of the water?
It was just the exposure to the outside.
Okay.
But now that you're in the secret garden, you see that there's a fountain in the middle of a stone floor. There's grass and mushrooms all growing all around you. But this is an enclosed garden. It doesn't actually open to outside, except to the moonlight above. And all around the wall is it is a stone wall, completely encasing this area.
Can we see any indication of why the fountain might be dry?
As you look into it, it just looks dry. But you do see that there is a black substance that has stuck to the where it would be a dry concrete or a dry stone that in the basin of the fountain. It's actually a black sticky substance. Kind of shimmers a little bit in the moonlight. Gargesha, what do you pay attention to?
I'm wondering why there are so many mushrooms and fungus. That doesn't seem like the normal things that would grow in a garden, unless they're just there because of the dilapidation.
Yeah, why don't you make a 12 or higher check? This is a knowledge check, so if you have knowledge of mushrooms, that'll work. Otherwise, you're just guessing.
Okay. 1.
Ooh. Okay, here's what happens. Like in every science fiction movie, as you lean forward to start investigating these mushrooms, one of them looks back at you with like this little cute face, little beady eyes. It starts cooing, and then suddenly its mouth opens up and bites down on your head.
Oh no.
Gargesha, you recoil back instantly, and there's a little like fungi toadstool chomping on top of your head, completely engulfing it, and he's going for your shoulders. You instantly take 3 points of damage as he bites down on your head. Crimson.
Can I cure wounds?
You can. How are you going to cure? Might want to remove the source of the wounds first.
Yeah, that's fair. I can call down fire. Let's do
What?
that.
Okay, call down fire where?
Straight onto the mushrooms. Let's evaporate them. Incinerate them.
Like the whole area? All right. I'm going to give you, we got 4 directions. So you got Gargesha's direction and then the other 3 directions. We'll say you're not dropping it straight down on Gargesha, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, roll a 12 or higher prayer check.
20.
Oh, natural 20. Perfect. You actually incinerate, like you hear shrieks and screams. Oh, God, I don't want to die. It's just burning. You've managed to like consume twice as much as you intended originally. And it is enough to cause the other fungi to hop off of Gargesha and start like trying to pat out the fire. No, not my family, not my family. Elia.
I'm kind of horrified by this fungal massacre. And so I just like stare in shock for just a moment, and then I have an empty glass bottle, and I'm wondering if it is something that I could use to get some of that black ooze and stopper it up without touching the ooze. Is there any way to do that?
It's very dry. It's dry.
Could I use my dagger to sort of like scrape some of it up?
Yes, you can. It was not difficult. Just roll a 12 or higher. Not a dexterity check, just 12 or higher. Just
18.
18, you are successful. You flake off a little bit as it flakes in. I'm going to say because in 18, you recognize that it is dried blood.
Oh.
Elia, as you're doing that, the mushrooms that were burned suddenly rise up twice as big, on fire, and very angry. One of them is going to go punch Gargesha in the face and then go towards Crimson and rip her in half. Gargesha, how do you respond? There are 2 very large mushrooms now.
Yeah, we have to get out of here. We have to run. So if there's no way out, we have to go back into the house. Back in through the way that we came.
Gargesha makes a run for it. Crimson.
I don't know. I kind of want to pray for a miracle.
I should not have given you that spell. Okay.
Spell.
Resource management.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez. All right, what are you going to do?
That's right.
Alright, I'm going to see if I can teleport all of us to a safe room.
Sure. 18 or
Great
higher.
power.
18 or higher with your bonus.
16 plus 5.
Okay, of
So
course.
21.
So Gargesha, before you can run through, you are teleported to a safe room as determined by Cornelia. Elia, moments before you are teleported by Crimson's timely magic, you see that a tentacle of blood is starting to reach up out of the fountain around your hand. And then suddenly, you disappear. You move to a safe room. I'm going to say... Crimson, you and your party suddenly appear upstairs on a bed. Looks like a master bedroom. And you instantly feel... You're on a bed too, yes. Yeah, a bed just like that. You feel yourself on a bed, and there's a small child sitting there.
I think he's an extrovert.
I'm just curious.
Curious.
Okay.
You're on a 4-poster bed covered in dust and moth-eaten. As soon as you land on the bed, this huge puff of dust fills the room. You begin to cough and choke. Each of you must roll under your con to avoid coughing for the next hour.
I rolled a 3.
Success.
I'm under with a 17, my count.
Yes, you did it.
I rolled a 13, so that's over.
All right, that triggers an encounter, so 3. And suddenly, Crimson, the room's floor lurches and collapses like a gaping mouth, and it causes the bed to tip up just like in Jaws, and you begin to slide down the bed into the floor, about to fall back into the first level, which would be the dining room. Elia, you see Crimson is being, and these giant like wooden teeth are chomping and biting at Crimson's feet instinctively as she kicks with her boots. But it is your turn, Elia. The bed is falling upright, and you, Gargesha, and Crimson at the bottom are sliding forth.
Ah, gosh. I'm gonna run to the point on the bed that's the highest to try to tip it back, the balance back in our favor. And I'm yelling,
Nice.
Gargesha, come up over here.
All right, Elia, Gargesha, do you respond to that?
I do.
Okay.
In fact, that tentacle that was wrapping around my wrist is still there, all writhing and gross. And so as I reach forward, so as soon as it detects like a post of the bed, it starts to coil around and actually supports my weight to help you.
Yeah, that was like part of the mushroom. He's like, oh, my hand, oh, God.
Yeah.
Elia, you can make a 12 or higher check for me if you would. I think balance would be good.
17.
Yeah, it's a success. Crimson, you suddenly feel yourself pulled from the wooden jaws as it crunches down, biting near your boot would have been if you could have lost your leg in that moment. Nevertheless, you're saved and the bed is tilted back upright and the mouth kind of like becomes docile once again. Nevertheless, the hole is still there. And then suddenly, on the other side of the doorway, you hear, be quiet! And you hear honk, 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 honk. And you hear the voice of the thief, I swear by the gods I'll cut off your stupid neck. Shh. And then you hear another voice say, no, we need the golden goose's eggs. Shut up. And everything gets quiet. Elia.
Well, I'm thinking we haven't seen any treasure so far, but that sounds kind of promising. So I'm thinking we ought to go check that out.
Out of this room leads to a hallway. There are 3 bedrooms down this hallway. A door, a door, a door. The doorway to this first bedroom is shut. This is the room you assume the voices and the goose came from. It is all quiet in this moment.
Gargesha, you still got that sledgehammer?
Did you nod your head? Yeah, I do. I happen to bring it with me everywhere I go now.
You want to bust down the door?
Yes. Sure. I
Okay.
will bust down this door.
All right, Gargesha, you can make a check. You need a 12 or higher to break the door down.
3.
3. I'm going to say, Gargesha, as you go to swing the sledgehammer, the door opens up and you see the wizard looking back, smack, right into her face, and she falls flat on the ground. Go and deal weapon damage, which would be a d6. She has 10 hit points.
4.
You can add your strength bonus to that, by the way.
My strength bonus is a -3.
Okay, so she takes 1 point of damage. You smack it right in her nose. She falls backwards, and you see the thief in that room. He's holding the goose, and then the goose is now just writhing out of his hands. Honk, honk, honk. And you hear the giant just scream, "Give me my goose!" At that moment, the fireplace in the guest bedroom, the master bedroom and this guest bedroom start to communicate with each other and create a line of fire like an electrical current. It burns through the wall and is going to burn through one of the 5 of you. It is going to be the poor wizard on the ground. She gets roasted and burned for 6 points of damage. She is now on fire on the ground, and this line of fires burning through one wall, one fireplace through the wall into the next fireplace. Crimson.
I'm going to try to bless the goose and see if I can get it to come over to us.
You have to lay your hands on the goose. So, walk over. First of all, you're going to have to apprehend the goose close enough. So, you're going to have to make a 15 or higher check to get your hands on the goose while the thief is fighting you off.
Okay. Do I add anything to that?
Unless you have some skill you could justify it with. No, just a 15 or higher.
1.
No, a natural one? Okay. I'm going to say... Good thing that wasn't a spell. I'm going to say the thief like throws you around the room and throws you right into the fire.
Aww.
You take 8 points of damage. You're on the other side of the firebolt.
That kills me.
Kills you, okay. Suddenly Crimson just... And then just falls to the ground completely unconscious. Her lights go out, her hand palm upward. The thief is just like fighting to keep the goose. He just instinctively kicked Crimson to the side. That means it's Elia's turn. You got a wizard on fire, and you got the cleric lying on the ground.
Hey, jerk! You killed my friend!
She tried to take my goose!
I used my wand at him.
Paralyze him? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Don't roll a 5 or lower.
17.
It paralyzes him. He just... The goose like is then going to jump out of his hands and start running around the room, but it is Gargesh's turn.
I'm going to chase after the goose and try to make a diving catch.
That's going to be a 12 or higher to get a hold of it. No one fighting you this time.
Oh no, I rolled the wrong dice. Yay.
Oh. You got any skills you can use or no?
No, not really.
Okay.
Let me roll this other dice here. Oh, I got a 2.
A 2. All right, you're chasing after the goose. The goose runs, I'm going to say, runs out of the room into the hallway toward the giant. But very far away at this point still. That means the goose runs. The thief is then going to... Well, he's paralyzed. Okay. The wizard is burning on the ground. She's actually going to stand up, and she is going to cast Levitate on you, Elia, and kind of like throw you up to the ceiling and lock you in place there. So to resist this spell, you're going to have to roll an intelligence spell to avoid your mind being controlled. Roll under your intelligence, please.
I got a 5, which is under.
Yeah, you resist this spell. She tries to pick you up, and then you can see she knows the spell didn't go off, so she's going to make a run for it by chasing after the goose. Gotta get the golden eggs!
I see she's on fire. So still.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna grab the I'm gonna grab the sheets off the bed and run after and throw them on her in an attempt to put the fire out, because I'm hoping maybe she has some kind of magic that'll bring Crimson back.
Gotcha. Okay, you put her, she's out and she just stops and stares. Oh, thank you. You paralyzed Lisbeth.
Well, Lisbeth kicked my friend into the fire and killed her. Can you do anything for her?
She tried to take the goose. You're here to take the goose, aren't you?
I don't care about the goose anymore. I just want my friend back.
She looks over on the ground. She's still alive?
No, she's dead.
What do you want me to do? Like, bring her back to life? I don't have time for this. She seems uninterested and not convinced.
Well, I tell you what, you bring her back and you can join us. That thief, they're no good. Team up with us and we'll get you that goose. We can split the share.
Can I add anything, or is that not my turn? I don't know how to do this. In fact, our friend who is dead is buddies with the god of time. And if time is a regular problem for you, she may be able to benefit you in some way if you bring her back. I'm not trying to ruin anything. I don't really know how to.
Let's see if it works. And basically, you're both going to roll, some kind of persuasion check if you have that skill. Otherwise, it's going to be I'm going to say a 9 or higher. High number is the winner.
I got a 9.
8 total.
Gargesha, that seems to do the trick. So if you want, you can add under your allies or your friends, Apocalypse Anne, the wizard. She seems to be favorable towards you, and she just kind of blinks and stares. Bloody hell, a naked goblin. How do you talk?
Yes.
We don't have time for that now. And she runs over towards Crimson. She starts looking around, and she notices you have an amulet to Chronolia the god of time. It's probably something like a watch or a sundial. And she's like, well, I'm not very good at this. Do you pray? Do you pray? I don't pray.
I've never prayed before, but I'm willing to try.
Do you have any gods you could call upon? Or lesser gods, devils, or someone?
I don't know. That was Crimson's domain, but I'm willing to call out to Cronolia and ask that she bless her faithful servant and give her more time on this earth.
Time. That makes sense. Okay. I don't know how this works. I guess I'll just hold the amulet and pray. And Elia, why don't you roll the d20 check? We'll use Crimson's modifier of +5, I think it is, for prayer. Okay. 8 + 5?
No, 3 + 5 is 8.
Okay. She kind of looks, and Crimson, basically it's your turn. You have to roll a 20 to wake up.
Ooh.
Is that including my prayer?
I'm sorry. You have
or is
to,
that just...
Yeah, sorry. You have to roll under con to wake up. Just at least conscious.
Nope.
Okay.
Do you have a luck point still?
Yes, I do. Does that mean I just get to reroll?
Yes, you can. You can take it.
7.
Okay. So
That's under.
the prayer did not work, but at that moment, Crimson actually does start to flutter her eyes open. Crimson, you have no health, but you are conscious and no longer at death's door. I guess it worked.
What happened?
Welcome
What
back.
was it like? You've been to the other
I feel
side.
like-
I've never been there. Tell me all about it.
Well, Cronolia called me up, and I had this meeting with him, and he was telling me that I've been I need to work with the house more, and that if I want if we want to win this quest, we have to talk to the wife.
Did you see the dead Duke at all? The guy from the painting?
Oh no, he's in hell.
Oh, you didn't go to hell? That's good.
No, of course not.
Okay, good job.
I went to Cornelius' kingdom as
So-
his blessed servant. I've always known that I would end up in his house as an honored guest.
Nice.
And then says, we don't have time for this. You said if I brought her back to life, then you'd help me get the goose.
Yes.
Elizabeth says, "Kill me, please."
I'm going to go over to Lisbeth and say, hey, if you cut out the shenanigans against us and you join us and do shenanigans on our behalf, we'll cut you in on a half share on the goose.
Okay.
So I point my wand at her and try to unparalyze her.
Okay. Roll a 12 or higher, not a 5 or lower.
I rolled a 7.
A 7. Nothing happens.
I shake it and I'm like, is this thing on?
Okay, well that triggers an encounter. So, suddenly, black smoke starts drifting from the floorboards. The floor is no longer a mouth trying to eat you. It's an incendiary furnace. Flames start erupting from the ground, and the floor starts to collapse underneath your feet. You have 1 round to get out of the room successfully. Elia, how do you respond?
I yell to everybody else, grab Lisbeth's feet, and we're gonna drag her.
Okay. Who drags the feet? Who drags your feet?
I'll grab 1 foot.
Okay.
I can grab 1 foot because I'm not very strong, but I can help.
Okay. Interesting. Crimson, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna run like my life depends on it.
Yeah. All right. I think Crimson can easily make it. Then Crimson, you just run, and as you're stepping on the floorboards, you can feel it start to give way underneath your feet, collapsing. As you look down through the floorboards, you can see that fire is falling into the ground below. which was the breakfast room. You are now safely in the hallway. Anne did not go back for Lisbeth. Anne just rushed, followed Crimson back into the hallway. That leaves Elia and Gargesh. If you do not have lift and carry, you're just going to have to make a 12 or higher. I'm going to say it's a combined score of 18. You have to total a d20 check of 18 together to pull poor Lisbeth out of the room.
She's not worth it. Just sacrifice her.
got a
She tried to kill.
Oh, wait,
14.
14 and a 9.
3.
Successful. Yeah, just both of you just drag her, and moments before the floor falls, she starts to pull down, but you're able to pull her up by her legs, and you are safely in the hallway. That room is completely destroyed. As you look down this hallway between gasps and breaths, you see that there is a series of bedrooms to your right, and there is a stairway all the way down at the end of the hall. There is also another hallway to your left.
Where has the goose gone?
You don't see the goose.
I'm going to take a moment to try to unparalyze Lisbeth again.
Okay. I think by now the paralyzation would have worn off. And so you can, she starts to wake up a little bit and she's like, oh. So we're on your side now, huh?
You better be.
Okay.
Otherwise you don't get any of that sweet, sweet golden goose treasure.
Okay.
Sorry for the bumpy ride. It was a rough minute there.
No, that's okay. Has anyone seen Helmet?
Oh, is Helmet the guy that got... Did any of us see that?
Crimson did.
I don't know anyone by the name Helmet.
All right, Elia. How do you progress?
When the goose ran away, was it honking at all? Like, would I have heard anything? Like, heard sounds in a direction, like just sort of receding honking?
Initially, yes, but after the explosion and fire and floor collapsing, you've lost the sound. After everything's settled and the dust is settled, you can't hear the goose at all. Once again, there is a hallway to your left. There's a hallway that goes all the way down and then goes to a series of stairs. And then there are 2 rooms on your right.
Shall we explore one of the rooms on the right? And I sort of start to reach toward the first door.
Okay, I'm gonna roll at random to see where. I'm gonna roll at random to see where the goose went. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. You're gonna look into the first room. As you look into the first room, you see this is a cramped servant's quarters. You see 2 beds, 2 empty clothes drawers. Right now, the room is quiet.
Do we have a second that I could cure my wounds?
You can.
Or attempt to?
Yeah, just a 2 or higher to avoid angering Cornelia. Just a 2 or higher. All you have to roll is a 2. Just don't roll a 1, basically.
Okay, I got 11.
Good.
So we're good.
Now you roll a d10, or I'll roll a d10 for you. For this round, you gain 4 health back. Yeah.
Okay.
While she's healing her wounds, I make the observation. Well, guys, I guess that's pretty dumb. Goose probably isn't going to open a door on their own, so maybe the goose is probably not in the room. So maybe another hallway. Let's check out this hallway that does not the hallway to the left.
Okay. As you go down the hallway to the left, it breaks off into a T junction, and you see that you're now at the balcony of the Great Hall. So this balcony horseshoes all the way around the Great Hall, and you see that there is a very large giant to your right, and I don't know if he sees you, so I do need you to make a aware check. Roll under your aware. Roll underwear. Roll under.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, you're 6. You quickly back away out of the corner real quick. And you know that giant's big old buggy eyes are looking for someone who stole his goose, and you know that you're definitely on the side of the people who initially stole the goose now. So, but
I'm there, I'm going to try to paralyze him again. Maybe I can get the other half of his face this time.
Okay. What did I say before? Yeah. What'd you get?
I got a 12.
That's not enough. So you shoot him?
Yeah.
I think he feels it. So he gets really angry.
Oh, no.
Okay. Go back to this table.
Oh.
And the walls become hot all around you as the house awakens again. The wallpaper blackens and curls, and the walls in this great hall just start to go aflame.
Oh, no, guys. Our ghost is cooked.
And that's where we end it. No. That was so, like, cue commercial break, Sarah. That was good.
Maybe a bio break?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Please. Yeah. Bio break.
Hello, Sojourners. This is Jonathan behind the screen. Maybe you're wondering how I designed this game. Well, first of all, this is Waking of Willowby Hall by Ben Milton of Questing Beast. You can purchase it for yourself at DriveThruRPG. It's an amazing, zany, wild, chaotic adventure designed to keep you on your toes the entire game. Now, in my game, I have two simple rules that help me play the most optimal way with my players. My whole thing is I want my players to roll dice as often as possible. So on their turn, if they're going to achieve something, they roll their d20 roll and add their modifier. And they are going for a high number. But on the Game Master's turn, bad things happen to the players, so players have the chance to roll a resist roll. You can think of this as a saving throw every time the Game Master has a turn. But the players are the ones rolling the dice. So if the player is rolling a resist roll or saving throw, they just have to roll under their score number. This is a lot like the old school Essentials rule in which you have to roll under your target number. So it's very simple. If you're a player on your turn, you want to roll high. If it's the Game Master's turn, you want to roll low. Either way, myself as a Game Master, I'm really never rolling at all. The players are doing all the d20 checks, and that's a lot more fun as I've learned and gotten feedback from my table. So, thanks for joining me behind the screen, and now back to the story.
One golden goose. We'll wrap it up in about 20 minutes to see if you guys make it out alive with a goose. The wall ignites, the house seemingly catching on fire at this point. Elia, the giant, did not see you, but he definitely got angered as the paralytic wand did not work. Of course, behind you are the other two rooms, the stairway. How do you proceed?
This new hallway, are there any open doors?
Yes, there is an open door to your left that leads to the library.
Ooh, library time.
All right, everyone follows Elia into the library past the burning walls and the smoke. When you walk into the library, you see, of course, it is packed with bookshelves along this wall. There is a reading desk. And the books start pulling themselves out of the bookcase and start reading out loud. The room is just filled with cacophony as 5 books are just reading themselves out loud. Gargesha, what do you pay attention to in this room?
Yes, I think that the reading books are a distraction. It is a distraction set by a magic spell to get us to not pay attention. Clearly, this was her husband's room because of all of the books and the painting. And I suspect that maybe he was actually murdered here and that we should be able to look around. So I'm going to look past all of the chaos, past all of the books, and look like deeper into the scene. So maybe even if there's a special chair where he used to sit, I'm going to look around there to see if there are any clues.
Yeah, as you look on the chair, you see that there is a salt circle around his chair. It's very descript. And then near the armchair is a salt shaker with a semicircle of salt, a circle that is incomplete. the desk chair, and then there's an armchair, like a reading chair, with an unfinished salt circle and a open container of salt nearby.
Is that supposed to mean anything to me?
Possibly. Depends on how you interpret it.
I definitely think it's suspicious. Is anyone else? What am I supposed to do? Guide me here, somebody. Am I supposed to come up with something or like make a decision or?
You can make a decision if you want. Crimson, do you have anything?
I know salt circles are usually used for to protect, right? Or to keep demons out of a place.
Yep.
So it's interesting like, around the chair.
It's around the chair.
Seems like protection.
And incomplete. But
So
the
it
one
did.
around, but the one around the desk is complete.
So I think that.
We should try to complete it. Happens.
Oh, okay. Because there's a salt shaker.
There is.
Yeah.
Elliot, how do you respond? Any questions you have?
Is there anything on the desk or the chair?
On the desk, there's a couple books that are reading out loud. You do see that there is a red alchemy book on the desk with a lot of bookmarks.
I definitely want.
Is it open to any particular page?
The alchemy book is closed, but there are a lot of bookmarks, yeah.
Are there... If I pick it up and just sort of open my hand gently, does it fall open to a particular page?
Yes, it does. Falling open to it, you see that there are blood stains, like drops of blood upon this page. There are instructions written over the text.
In blood?
Yes, in blood. And the instructions read, "Bring your husband's soul to me, and I will grant you a place at my side. Bring me your husband's hunting party, and I will allow you to be my bride." Gargesha, as you're fiddling around with this salt shaker, you see Elia with the book. As we pan over to you, how are you responding?
Yes, I have the salt shaker.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me again how salt circles work, Crimson?
Yeah, so you just have to complete the circle and then it protects whatever is inside of it.
In this world, are salt circles used in other ways, like magically? Like,
So you can think of the salt shaker. I mean, if you know of this, it would mean that one of these salt circles is keeping someone out, and this broken salt circle has let someone in. You can think of it as a doorway into an abyss. So a broken salt circle usually means someone left the door open. But a closed salt, yeah, so there's a closed door and there's an open door.
I think that the wife killed the people so that she could have the promise of eternal life as a queen in the underworld, and that she left the place via the open salt circle, and if we can follow her in some way, we may find her.
See, I actually wonder if she unleashed a god or a demon, probably a demon, and because that demon promised her whatever, eternal life or power, and I bet it's in control of the house now.
Oh.
so when we were downstairs, we heard the sounds of like a beast.
That's right.
I'm gonna just like very quickly kind of go through the pages of the book and see if like any of the major bookmarks have any clues as to what might have been summoned or how we can send it back, that kind of thing.
You read through it, and besides this one page, it seems that it's just Lord Willoughby's notes on alchemy and all kinds of studies about how to make potions and chemicals. It's a very intellectual book. It just seems as this one particular page, some kind of ritual was used.
What?
Go ahead.
Probably with his blood. Yeah.
Can I carefully meditate and try to talk to the house and see if it can tell us what happened?
Ooh, yes. At a cost. It'll take some time. And at this point, you can start to see a lot of the walls are starting to fill with fire as the fire just slowly spreads in like a person creeping into a room. Crimson, this will be successful, but if you have a successful meditate roll, 12 or higher, you will do it in a timely manner.
9 plus 5, so 14.
Crimson, as you sit there cross-legged with your eyes closed, your red scales glistening in the ever-growing firelight. The last thing you see are the salt shaker. You close your eyes and you begin to hear whispers. The books begin to synchronize into one harmonious voice. The walls themselves start to creak and groan like an old man speaking after days of sleeping. You hear the voice of the house begin to speak in one single chorus, simulating a single woman's voice. The house now belongs to me, and will be here when I return to enact my revenge upon all of Willowby. A place where my husband will remain forever, to punish him for his wayward ways. There he shall remain, under lock and key, under guard of the furniture and the dust that surrounds him and settles. The house begins to echo, "We will guard. We will guard until your safe return." And then Crimson, you are startled and awake. Sound of fire and the sound of a goose honking as Mildred the goose busts through the door into the library, comes to a skidding halt, and says, "Uh-oh," and starts to turn back.
Can I wand her?
Yes, you may. 12 or higher.
I got an 8, but I got another luck point.
Go for it.
Come on, come on, come on. Another 8.
Oh, you shooting glabs. She's running. She is in the door jam at this point. Gargesha.
Yes, I have. Ooh, well, I don't want to.
You have a tiny crossbow.
I have a tiny crossbow. It looks like I have a few other things. I have a book.
Yeah.
Well, I have free carry backpack and a feather.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want to do.
Throw the book at it.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
The book of the goose.
I was going to throw the book at it, but I wonder if there might be some, because I want to be careful not to kill the goose, because then, you don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. So I wonder, because I do have a bit of charisma, I don't know if that helps me at all. I wonder if I could take the feather out and just kind of do like a little goosey attractive dance and just kind of.
So you're Gargesha.
Attract.
I'm going to say at that moment, Gargesha acquires the seduction skill.
Yes.
So you're going to.
I am naked.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't picturing that being a plus since I'm a goblin. But, hey, everybody can find somebody.
She's enlightened now. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So +3. You get a +3 to your roll. 12 or higher, please.
Okay. 8 + 3 is 11.
Oh. Mildred turns around. She's like, "I don't swing that way. I don't swing that way."
Darn it.
Crimson, it's up to you. Crimson. I'm gonna say. Hold on. I'm gonna say. Well, I'm gonna give you a choice. You're seeing that looks like Mildred is about to get away. The house is setting up on fire, and at that point, you see between the broken line of the salt circle, you see a woman's leg breaking through the dimension. It's like as if her
It
leg...
might be time for some blessing.
Yeah, like her leg just stepping through a portal. What does Crimson do?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to bless this house and clean up this mess.
All right. The house is really mad, so you're gonna have to roll a 19 or higher on your prayer check, okay?
Please use the words live, laugh, love in your spell.
Live, laugh, love, and it's a 9.
A 9. You start to bless and just calling forth like to bless this house. And Mildred gets away and she's running down the hall, and at that point you see Lavinia, the lady of the house, step through the portal, and she looks upon each of you, and Apocalypse Anne and Lisbeth just drop their weapons and say, "It's a ghost!" And they run in terror. At that point, Liliana raises her hand towards the intruders and stops them dead in their tracks. They fall to the ground and their very veins turn to black and they die. Then she looks at each of you after making such a display of power, and she says, "Why are you in my house? And what are you doing here?" And she looks to you, Elia.
Well, I'm going to try to paralyze her, because that's apparently what I do. Whoops.
All right. She's pretty powerful. I'm going to say...
Another 8.
8, nope. She grabs... She like telekinetically grabs the wand from your hand and then puts it in her side and says, "I asked you a question, young lady."
That's playing dirty, lady. You're going to pay for that.
And then she suddenly sees Gargesha like mid-seduction, like still waving her feather. "What are..." And she ignores the goblin and then turns to Crimson, who is still sitting cross-legged. "Would you care to answer my question? What are you doing here? Who are you?"
Wait, what was the question?
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
I am sent from the gods, and wait, I have infernal dealings. Does that come into play at all? Because she seems pretty...
Oh, yeah, I'll say sure, yeah.
Okay. And I've come to stop you.
You cannot stop me. I am a bride of Bile, the demon lord of disease. She is completely angered at that moment. Gargesha, I'm going to give you a turn before she unleashes hell.
She is married to the demon of disease. I want to tempt her. I have a flask in my not pocket. In my bag. In my backpack. I have a backpack. I have a flask. And if by chance she feels regret for betraying her husband and that she's actually been trapped all this time, I'm going to offer her my flask and set her free. It's full of a healing potion, which is the only thing that can combat the god of disease. And I will set her free if she will... I'm really making this up. If she will not only set us free, but reward us like the children of Israel got showered with treasure when they left Egypt. I'm pulling an archetypal reality.
Yeah. Gargesha, you
I'm allowed to do this.
You hold up your flask.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes bat, and she looks down at this seemingly enlightened being, this goblin girl just offering a flask, and she sees the sparkling yellow liquid in this potion that you've kept all this time. In a moment of sympathy, she reaches for it, and as she touches it, her dark and ghostly hand becomes human again. You start to see the the pale but white skin crawl up her arm. For a moment, she sees what is possible. You have to roll I'm gonna say 14 or higher.
Okay. This is where FI comes in handy, by the way. I had compassion for her, even though she was bad. I could see past it into her sorrowful soul, even if it is a 3-year-old. Oh, I got a 1!
A natural 1!
After my speech about my FI powers.
You have a luck roll?
I do, yes. Let me use that. Oh,
okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay, we said a 14.
14.
11.
Oh, still Gargesha. At that point, she sneaks past the potion and grabs you by the throat, picks you up, drops Gargesha to the ground, and then unleashes this spewing violent vomit all over the room. She turns into this horrible, hideous bile being. The tentacles start sprouting from her breasts and her legs turn into hooves. She roars and screams, that same roar you heard earlier. This room now fills up with vomit. Waves and waves of vomit. Between the fire and the vomit, even Mildred the Goose knows that she has no chance of reuniting with this giant. She heads for the hills, breaking free from the main entrance. It seems as if nothing else lies for our sojourners than pure escape or certain death. Elia, as the leader, how do you spend your last turn?
Where is the health potion at this point?
Collapsed to the ground, lost in the vomit. To give you some context in this room, you're in the library. So the library leads to the hallway and a second-story window. It also leads to a hallway from where you came and down the Great Hall. Okay?
I think the second story window may be my best bet, but my friend Gargesha is in a tight spot. Man. I've got a dagger. I'm gonna try to slash at this lady's wrists.
Ooh.
Elia takes on a demon lord's bride. She stands up at, this is all or nothing. You see, the two of you see your leader taking a stand. Gargesha, you're on the ground, you're alive. You're kind of like being vomit poured all on you. And Elia wades through the vomit, and she's looking like she's taking a stance against this demon lord's bride. How do you respond?
Yes, I'm very thankful. One second. I at least throw her my leather armor.
To Elia?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have leather armor. I don't know. Wait, okay. Okay, just a second. Let me take that back.
So you were wearing at least leather armor this whole time?
Well, I had it. I don't know that I was wearing it.
We'll just say we'll just say it's like an animal hide that's been like rolled up.
Okay.
You throw Elia this leather armor to protect her, basically.
I throw her my dagger, so now she has a dagger in each hand at least.
Okay.
So she has one dagger. I say, Elia, and then I throw her my other dagger with expert throwing, so that the handle ends up right there, and so now she's this dual wield.
Okay. Mid-air, Elia catches the double dagger, going straight for the wrists to slash the demon lord's bride's wrists asunder. Crimson, how do you?
I'm gonna pray and bless her. I'm gonna bless her with all the power of Granolia.
You're gonna bless the Elia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elia.
Here's what we're gonna do. Crimson, roll your bless check, and then tell me your total.
7.
7 total. Okay. Gargesha, roll me your pit fighters check, and then tell me your total.
So that means I roll and then I add.
Your pit fighter skill. Mm-hmm.
So I get a 7.
7 and a 7. Okay. 7 and a 7. That gives you a 14 bonus. I'm going to say you need a 24. You need a 10 or higher to succeed slashing her wrist, Elia. This spells your certain doom, but if you succeed, it might go easier for you in the afterlife. So, you need a 10 or higher weapons check. Can you do
All right.
Is it just
I'm gonna raise my arms into the sky, toward the sky, and as the colored diamonds on my clothing flashes and there's a flurry of bells, I roll up 5.
Oh, Elia. As you do, she also brings forth these 2 tentacles and just wrap around you. One grabs Crimson, a big old hoof boot kicks Gargesha across the room. The bile then fills up this hall. You hear the giant just screaming, no, I gotta get my goose. And he's like starts gargling in all this vomit and bile and then he just bursts in this pus. And this house just melts into the ground and starts descending into the lawn. Mildred the goose, now safely 200 yards away at the border of the forest, turns around huffing and puffing, and it pops out a golden egg in anxiety. She turns around and sees the manor, 100 years old decrepit, sink deep into the abyss, bubbling and liquefying. And then all is dark. In the darkness, in the jail cell of a long dead creature, surrounded by a skeletal ribcage, amidst the ash and toxic air, your reincarnated forms awaken back to back, chained with violent, hot, burning links. Welcome to the abyss. And so for now, our story concludes.
What a way to go, man!
Not a super successful mission.
Maybe we should have trained a bit more.
Every story comes to an ending, so for now, we must conclude. Thank you for listening, Sojourners. Your attention will not go unrewarded, and we are glad to have concluded this adventure. It did not happen exactly the way I had thought, but isn't that the point of the game? Especially games like The Waking of Willowby Hall. Wonderful game by Ben Milton of Questing Beasts. Find it at Drive-Thru RPG for yourself and see what kind of crazy chaotic outcomes you and your players will have. For more information on becoming a game master at your table, visit us at www.sojournersawake.com. But however you choose to sojourn, as always, may your story continue.